first time I sat down to attempt this video, I hated how I looked in the playback, so I decided to refilm. The second time I made this video, I cried when I was talking about what I'm about to talk to you about. And I was going to keep it in because I thought that, well, my tears are honest, so why not include them in the video? Just hit upload. But the thing is, I also said derogatory things about my place of employment, and upon further thought, I figured I should keep my feelings off the internet about that. You know, I like money. Money buys food. Now, the third time I tried to film this video, I was met with an ungodly, ridiculous amount of noise coming from outside my closed windows. And, well, remember that fact because it's going to be really crucial in the story I'm about to tell. So here I am for a fourth time, sitting on my living room floor on a Sunday night, telling you guys where the heck I've been, why there's been practically no content at all to speak of in Linda's world since September, and what I'm going to do to fix that moving forward. Now, you'll notice that I didn't do the cutesy pie things that I do in my videos. Like, for example, my zippy little introduction with the little pics and the little song. And I certainly didn't come on and go, and if you want to know more, it starts right now. Because that's gimmicky. And, you know, we all have a gimmick in life, and I'm going to return to doing those things. It's just that this is a more serious issue than that, and this is a more serious video than that. And it has a whole lot to do about something that I hold very, very dear, which is mental health. So I wasn't going to poison it with levity of any kind, if that makes any sense. Now, for you this evening, I purposely put on my Carole King tapestry t-shirt. This is my symbolism. So if you hang around, you'll know why I'm wearing this. I'm an English teacher and I love symbolism. So I guess I should just get on with the tale because I've been talking for 2 minutes now and you don't know what the hell I'm trying to say. Now, for those of you who are new to Linda's world, and I apologize that this is the first video you're seeing, you might not know this, but subscribers, and there are 280 of you guys tonight, and thanks for that. You guys must have noticed that there has been precious little content coming from me in the entire fall. I came on here about a week ago to rank all the songs on Positions by Ariana Grande, and I think I held it together pretty nicely that night when I did. And I came on a couple of weeks ago talking about how it's okay to be your authentic self, and that was fine. But the thing is, I also have eyes and ears, and I could hear myself and see myself, and I knew that the Linda that you were getting was not the Linda you're supposed to get, and that was, like, I guess the psychologically and emotionally bankrupt version of myself. And how on God's green earth should you be expected to take mental health and wellness content from a person who is not well themselves? So I dialed it back, and I didn't record a damn thing because you wouldn't want the content that I was going to give you if I did. I'm not ashamed to say that these have been some extremely trying times. Now, in an effort to break down where I've been, what I've been doing, and like why I haven't made content, and like why I'm apologizing to you, I think that I should, instead of talking in circles like I normally do, break it down into 3 specific categories so you know what I'm talking about, and like so that I can keep myself on track. All right? Now, I'm going to break it down into 3 categories, and we're going to call them home, work, and health. And under health, I want to note that it's physical and mental both. Okay? So, beginning with the home. Remember I told you how I had that deafening noise outside my window? Well, the thing is that that's something that happens all gosh darn time, okay? I'm not going to tell you the specific neighborhood that I live in Brooklyn, New York, but I do live in a neighborhood that's very heavily populated. People kind of live on top of each other. So much so that, like, I can hear every single thing, and I know everything about the marriage of the couple that lives directly next door. I live in a neighborhood that's under constant construction. I live in a building that's under constant construction. My landlord, about 2 years ago, took it upon himself to bring in a 5th tenant, and it is not a legal tenant, mind you. And this person remade the entire basement and caused deafening, unforeseen noise, like for months and months and months. And I want to be sincere, but I'm itching. And we thought it was over. And then as soon as it was over, they just kept building new shit. And they've just been doing it and doing it and doing it. And I know that a couple of people who I know personally remarked that they could hear some of the construction noise in my previous content, like stuff that happened like maybe in the spring, right? And I know, but the thing is I was trying to make videos and there was nothing I could do about it. I live in a prison that I made myself because it's what I could afford, you know, and I take full responsibility for my finances. I'm not saying that the world did this to me, but the thing is that, like, it is nonetheless prison, okay? New York City to me has always been prison. I don't see what people see in it. I don't like it. I don't understand what you guys come here for. It boggles my mind. Brooklyn, specifically, is a place that I really don't understand why people like. And there's people I know who are watching this video who are Brooklyn natives who enjoy it very much, and I understand. And we've discussed this. If you're watching this and you know me personally, we've had this conversation before, and I respect your opinion. But I don't share that opinion. Brooklyn is horrific. It was like made by the devil, okay? And my specific neighborhood is even worse than that. And my specific building is even worse than that. And I feel every single day when I wake up, not only do I feel like I'm in prison, but I don't feel safe. Now, I'm not going to get all psychological on your ass, but Dr. Abraham Maslow developed the pyramid, the hierarchy of needs, the bottom of which is your biological needs of food, water, and shelter, and then safety and security, love and belonging, self-esteem, self-actualization, and it's a pyramid. And basically his explanation of this was, you behave in a way that is to obtain what you're currently seeking, one of these levels, right? So like, for example, if you're homeless and you're looking for food, you're not going to be worried about being creative and stuff like that. You're worried about where your next meal is coming from, right? So like that's Maslow's hierarchy of needs explained in 2 seconds. I find myself an educated professional with a job and everything, okay? A free person, a person not living in a third world country or anything like that. But I find myself at rung 2, which is freedom from fear, safety and security. I'm going to tell you why. Why am I telling you this? Because I'm trying to explain my mental state and why I was in no shape to give anybody advice about how to live their best lives. Because I'm living probably the worst version of my life that I've literally ever lived in almost 44 years. At any given moment, outside my living room windows, there are random dudes. I'm not joking. There's like no hyperbole. Random mofos, just like random guys who are ostensibly doing construction, and it's an alleyway. Like my bedroom's in the front of the house on the ground floor. My bedroom's in the front, and there's 3 windows. And my living room is on the side. There's an alleyway that separates me from the next building, okay? Which is why I hear all the conversations next door. And so literally 6 inches from my window, like 6 inches from my seat on the couch where I sit and watch television and where my doggy like sleeps on the leopard pillow, there's random dudes just hanging out, like taking lunch and just chillaxing outside my window, peering into the window. And this happens at any given time of the day. One specific incident I recall, it was the first day of in-person instruction at my school. Those of you who are new, I'm a high school English teacher. And I came out, I was like trying to be early, you know. So I woke up at like 5:45, and it's dark at 5:45, right? So I walk into the living room and I turn on a little lamp and like for just some light and like the TV for I Love Lucy, which is something I do. And those random dudes, 2 random dudes staring into my window. And I closed the blinds, you know, because I was like, well, you know, but I felt tremendously uncomfortable. Why should I have to close my blinds? Because there's random guys. I live here and they don't. And I don't understand why they are standing outside my window at any time. What are they doing there? Why are they looking in at me? And what do they want? And what's to stop them from coming directly in here and, you know, doing what they want to do? You know, like I have no recourse for this, okay? And I live in a place where basically this is the twisted logic, that if I said to my landlord, the man who owns this building, if I said to this gentleman, hey, I don't appreciate how there's random guys hanging out outside my living room window, I'm a woman living alone, he would say, well, what are you opening your window for? Well, maybe it's because of the heat that comes on at any given time and makes my apartment feel like I'm swimming in a bowl of consomme in Miami in July. Okay? It is death-defyingly hot in my house at any given time. Look at my outfit. This is a t-shirt. This is a pair of Hollister shorts. It's Thanksgiving, okay? And this is how I live. I'm sweating bullets even talking to you now. It's almost impossible to even wear clothes. Like, and so I fear for the life of my dog because it's that hot. And I can't open a window because I'm on the ground floor. And what if I'm out and someone like does something to my dog? You know what I mean? Like, I'm trapped in here. I am trapped in a prison of my home. I don't feel safe in my own home. You know, I lock the door, certainly, because I'm not a jerk, but like, you know, I don't know what's going to happen around here. And there's other little incidents that I'm not going to bore you with. I mean, we're 10 minutes into this video and I'm on round 1. So like, I'm not going to tell you the rest of the story. But the trouble is that I literally don't feel okay. Like here, like I don't feel okay. And also, it's hard to make content. I mean, you know, putting aside, you know, rapes and murders for a second, it's hard. How can you make content when there's people staring at you? You know, this isn't a television show here. Like, I don't have I'm not, you know, Linda's World is brought to you before a live studio audience. Like, no. Okay? Like, no. And also, the noise. My God, the noise. I am going to insert footage I took as to what it is like on a daily basis at any given hour of the day in my home. Roll tape. Do you see? Or more importantly, do you hear? And so therefore, I can't always make content. Now, I'm going to move I'm going to move on to the next segment, which is work. And I'm not going to speak too much about work because I don't want to get my butt in hot water, and because I like money, you know. And so I'm not going to speak a whole lot of it there, but I will say this about my job, which is that anyone who's been following Linda's World for quite some time and see my vlogs where I'm sitting behind the steps of the Dunkin' by my job, or like why I'm dining outdoors, you know, even like, you know, coronavirus, like when they have the outdoor dining, eating my lunch outside in the freezing cold and the rain just because I'm afraid to go in there. I'm not going to get too technical, but I will say that the situation that I have to go to earn money has become so psychologically untenable that I'm, again, no hyperbole, I literally wake up a half an hour earlier than I probably have to, just in case I have to barf, because I'm that nervous. And in order to go into the building, because it is so psychologically untenable because of the things that they do there, I have to recite like mantras, basically just Ariana Grande lyrics, you know. And I'm thinking like, and you know what I've taken to doing. In fact, actually, if you suffer from anxiety, do this. Live to Tell by Madonna. I literally sing in my head, the light that you can never see, it shines inside, you can't take that from me. I say that over and over like a mantra, and then I'm ready to go inside. You're not supposed to live that way. That's not supposed to be your life. You're not supposed to have no building to go to where you feel safe. I don't feel safe anywhere. I don't have freedom from fear, because when I go to my job, I'm afraid of the psychological warfare, the things that can be done to me to prevent me from earning a living, and basically having my dog starve to death. You know, like that's drilled into me daily, and that's not cool. And then you go home, that should be your respite, you know. I had a very unsuccessful episode of Self-Care Sundays a while back where I talked about building a home that's safe, secure, and happy for you as your happy place. And, you know, I guess I'll put that one down below too, just in case you want to watch it. It'll explain this a little more in depth. And I don't have that either. So, like, literally nowhere on the earth do I feel okay. I feel my best when I'm outside, literally when I'm walking home. And when I morph into the health category in a minute, you'll see why that's actually kind of sad. Walking around with my AirPods in my ears, you know, and my cute new Michael Kors backpack on, trudging through the Brooklyn streets to get to whichever one of these buildings I'm going to, because that's the only place where I'm okay, because I have anonymity and this, you know, I'm cool because I'm not in any one of these buildings. Like, sometimes I actually stand in front of my house and I wait a minute. Like, I genuinely wait a minute. I stand there in my gate and I wait because I'm not prepared, you know. It's funny, I'm about to tell a humorous story. You see, there was, my best friend knew this guy, and he had a friend, and they had lived together at one point, and they were friends, and then they weren't friends. And so the one guy was explaining how he used to go to the bar or something like that on his way home from work and stay out really long. And his explanation was, and he said, and I quote, "I just didn't want to come home to that motherfucker." And we laughed, in the backyard when we heard it. But the thing is that that's how I feel about this home. I just don't want to come home to this motherfucker. So I can't do that. And I can't continue to do that. And it's killing me to have no place in the entire world where you feel okay does not breed good mental health. And I start out at a deficit anyway, being bipolar and having generalized anxiety and whatnot. I already start out at a mental health deficit. So to have these things come about, seriously, I prefer these people just shoot me. Why don't they just shoot me and get it over with? Death by inches is not good. And if you're sitting here thinking, but Linda, you haven't really explained yourself. If some of the things that I've been saying haven't really struck you as horrible enough, you know what I mean? If you're like, what's this girl complaining about, right? Well, I've only told you part of the story. This YouTube video would be hours long, and that's not how I roll, and also I'm trying to protect some information, I don't want to barf the whole thing up onto you, if that makes any sense. I'm sorry for the image. Now, I want to go to the third category now, and that category is health. And when I say health, I mean mental and physical. Now, I think we've gotten a good handle on my mental, okay? But there's something that I'm leaving out, and there's something that I want to make sure that we know, and that is seasonal affective disorder. Now, I can't even explain how much I suffer from seasonal affective disorder. Now, those of you who are unfamiliar, seasonal affective disorder, SAD, which I find hilarious because it spells sad, is a disorder where a person, because of the lack of sunlight and what have you, find themselves going into an actual clinical depression, even if they don't suffer from depression, in the winter months. Now, there's a select few people in the world who have it during the summer. They're reversed. Actually, my best friend is that way. She is a winter enthusiast, and she falls to seed in July and August, whereas I prosper in July and August, and I fall to seed starting in about November. Guess what month it is? See? Now, seasonal affective disorder, they claim, can be handled with vitamin D, which I take daily, and a light box, which I don't own because I can't afford one. And so that's a thing. And I know that everybody's gonna everybody's gonna laugh at me, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, I know, it's just because you like the beach, get over yourself. There are seasons, Linda, you live in the Northeast," and blah, blah, blah. And I understand all that. But the thing is, it clicks. I'm sorry, mental illness is not something that you just turn on and turn off. Otherwise, I just quit being bipolar. Imagine that, So, seasonal affective disorder is such that, literally, I start getting panicked when it's, September. It's still summer, it's still 90 degrees, but somewhere around right after Labor Day there, I start freaking out. I start to panic because I'm oh great, I better get all my stuff done now. I better go get my hair and nails done. I better take care of my dog. I better make sure my house is clean. I better make sure that I do all my projects and all my stuff, because I know that when it gets just a little bit colder and the freaking daylight savings time that I can't stand happens, I'm gonna be useless to everything. I'm gonna be a lump of shit on the road, okay? I'm not gonna be okay until June. And so I have to make sure my ducks are in a row, just in case, give the floor a good mop, put the highlights on, make sure I'm okay when it's still hot outside, because I know damn well that I'm just gonna be lying on my couch, trying not to cry, watching a repeat of The Golden Girls and Alice. That's what I do at night. And crying that it's not light out and that there's nothing to live for because it's not light out. It's that serious. And seasonal affective disorder it smacks you in the ass, man. It's not even funny. It's a wallop and a half. It's not even cool. And I think actually it hits me even harder than bipolar disorder. But then again, I'm medicated for that, so I wouldn't be able to tell you, Now, my bipolar disorder's okay, it's in check, and it's funny because I started thinking, I get nervous when I get depressed because the opposite of depression is mania, and I'm almost comfortable in my depressions because at least with mania, I don't run the risk of getting in any trouble, because mania for me is anger and just wrong behaviors, like life-altering wrong behaviors. And so I almost prefer to be depressed. You know what I mean? But the thing is that I keep thinking of that meme. It was the tweet by Jim Carrey: before you diagnose yourself with self-esteem issues or depression, remember, like, think around and see if you're not first surrounded by assholes. And if I can find the meme, I'll insert it. And so I keep trying to think of that, and when I think of that, it makes me laugh, and I've gone on a huge tangent to tell you that I'm really not going to be okay until, like, May. And I just have to know it, you know, like, it is what it is. I mean, like, in a couple of weeks when there's a Christmas tree here, like, I'm going to pretend like I like it, you know? I'm going to kind of fake, like, that I like Christmas, like I do every year. And, you know, all Christmas tree is to me is symbolism that it's not summer, and, like, that hurts. And I don't care how shallow and ridiculous that sounds. That's my disease. Like, I'm sorry. Okay. Now, rounding out the health, because I can go on about this for days, and I certainly don't want to bore the pants off you any more than I already have. But the other thing is physical health, of course. And so basically what's happening with me, and I've never really come out and explained my disorder to you. Like, I've always said I'm handicapped or whatever. Like, I've said I have a disability or whatever. I've never said what needs saying, you know? And the long and the short of it is that monthly I see a doctor who provides me with a couple of different prescriptions, and you know, once upon a time gave me a nerve block surgery whose effects lasted for 3 days. And but nevertheless, it's for a condition called foraminal stenosis. It's sort of different than spinal stenosis, if you know what that is, and it's brought on by osteoarthritis. And you know, and basically the doctor, and he was the 13th doctor that I went to before I found some answer to my situation, why I can't remain standing for more than 2 minutes at a time, why I haven't felt my hands in 5 years, why I have no sense of smell, why my eyes hurt when I move them, I have no peripheral vision, I can't move my neck, like, you know, all kinds of things. And so this dude was like, you have, like, you're 40, I was 41 at the time, and he's like, you're 41, but you have, like, internally, like, your body is 65. And, like, there's a disease called progeria where children are born and they age, like, it's like reverse Benjamin Button almost, and, like, it's terrible, and they don't live long. It's a horrendous disease. Basically, my innards are, like, have progeria. Like all my joints and muscles and bones and everything, like all the parts that make you, like, my skeleton is like my mother's age, not my age. You know what I mean? My 64-year-old mother, who has boundless energy, like, outruns me. You know what I mean? Like, we spend a day, I mean, this is before the pandemic, of course, we spend a day at, like, Home Goods or the mall or Bed Bath & Beyond, and I'd be like, please give me a minute, and clinging, bent over and on the trunk of her car, just taking a minute of rest. And she's ready to go do other stuff. After that, we went to the Outback and she got her nails done. I remember the day specifically. And so, and I was at home lying on my couch as if I had just climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, when all I'd done is go to Bed Bath & Beyond, you know. It's a disorder, and it takes a lot out of me. And basically, it's like this. It's like, in addition to all the pain and the numbness and, like, the unusability of my limbs, if that makes any sense. I know that's not, like, a term. I'm just saying, like layman terms. Like, consider a trip to Walgreens and back, for me, as if I had just put in an hour's worth of workout with a personal trainer and then run a 10K. Like, if I go to the corner store, I need, like, a nap. Like, it wipes me out. I am, like, and it's funny because everyone always talks about what energy I have. It's so fake because I'm filled with caffeine. You know, I sprint like the Energizer Bunny, and then I lay down and I just want to jump off a building because I need the rest. You know what I mean? Like, it's unbelievable. So basically what we have here is a person who's spent, and I don't know why I'm laughing because it's quite pathetic and tragic actually, is a person who is suffering from extreme lows in their mental health, extreme lows in their physical health, has death-defying noises outside their window 24 hours a day, and random guys looking in and peering in their window, making her feel unsafe, with absolutely no recourse from the landlord or the law, coupled with feeling at any given time that her entire career 21 years worth, mind you, worth of pension and everything, can be completely ripped out from under her like a tablecloth in a magic trick. Okay? So if you glue all these things together, okay, if you put them together and toss them and make them a big salad, right, that salad is the explanation of why I have not been able to make decent content for you guys. That's the original purpose of this video, right? And so, so I'm not going to talk in circles about it. I think I've pretty much stuck on course to tell you guys that that's the answer to, what Linda's been hiding and, why Linda's world isn't always perfect, And because Linda's actual world, the regular one, isn't always perfect. Far from it. Now, to conclude, I want you to be made aware that I wore this Carole King tapestry shirt today for a couple of reasons. One, it's rather hot in my apartment. All my windows are open and whatnot. And number two, I genuinely love it. It's probably my favorite tee. And then, of course, most symbolically, because I bought this right after we saw Carole King Beautiful, the musical, my mother and I, a couple of years ago. And when I put it on, right, I bought the merch, because I was like, I love Carole King. Ladies, look her up. She's basically Taylor Swift of the 1970s, but better. And so I bought it because of first of all, it's a skipless album. It's a perfect album, start to finish. But specifically, track 5 is beautiful. And literally, she says, you've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. Then people are going to treat you better. You're going to find, yes you will, that you're beautiful as you feel. And I kind of have to remind myself of that sometimes, that I have to get up every morning with a smile on my face and show the world all the love in my heart. Because if I was genuinely how I feel, if I didn't emote the good Linda, right? I don't know, I don't even know what would happen. Seriously, what's in here, not cool, not cool. Okay, so I have to remind myself to get up every morning with a smile on my face and show the world I love my heart, right? And then, of course, the song goes on to say, I have often asked myself the reason for the sadness in a world where tears are just a lullaby. If there's any answer, maybe love can end the madness. Maybe not. Oh, but we can only try. And that is why I have a channel, okay? I literally have Linda's World because I want to get up every morning with a smile on my face, turn the camera on, and show the world all the love in my heart. Okay? Actually, I'm not joking around. I know that I have a tendency to speak in riddle, right? But seriously, you don't get more genuine than that. I'm being serious with you. So, there. And this has been the longest explanation video ever. I see the counter on my cracked iPhone 7 Plus, and I can't believe that I've spoken for this long about this topic. But the thing is that I think it had to be said. And if people don't watch till the end, I totally understand that. And I totally understand if you want to zip through it, and maybe I'll timestamp this stuff in the description about which part you might want to know. I don't know. All I know is I had to explain myself. And I think that moving forward, when I do what I'm going to do next year, which is repair some financial difficulty that I've gotten myself into, and use that extra money to move from this apartment to another apartment in a better neighborhood that I've lived in before that I love very much, maybe life won't suck so hard. And maybe I'll be able to get up every morning with a smile on my face, show the world all the love in my heart, and people are going to treat me better. And I'm going to find, yes, I will, that I'm beautiful as I feel. Thanks for listening. Don't worry, regular content's coming back. I'm not going to be emoting for that long. It's all good. Have a lovely evening, or day, or whatever. And, well, I'll be back in a moment with more content.